Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. The following presentation is brought to you, of course, by Because Bitcoin. Welcome to Market Check on this fine Wednesday. I am Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I am, of course, joined by Max Tucker and Dr. Will's Outlook, breaking down CPI today, the impact that it could have on markets today, and of course, how will the market kind of digest this information as we continue to get into September and October, kind of this weak period of seasonality for all markets. Truthfully, so far we're kind of waiting to see how the market's going to digest this information. I mean, on the surface, the CPI print did come in elevated, right? Which indicates that we are beginning to see that that rate of change in inflation month over month starts to tick back up. And over a higher time frame, that's probably going to be a bearish signal for the market. But what does it mean right now? I mean, I think that's still pretty much up for interpretation, up for debate. I mean, equities right now have been an absolute slaughterhouse, right? They've just been chopping up every participant that has, kind of stepped in the arena today. And we really don't know exactly where we're going. And I think vice versa for Bitcoin, just kind of building value here at the highs. Will it BART? Will it squeeze? I think I could see a good, case for either one. I really thought that we would probably BART through the lows yesterday, but it never came and we're still up here. So I have to interpret that in at least some form or fashion, right? So I'm very curious to see what Bitcoin's going to do from here, guys. I think there's a very real possibility we could squeeze, but I also don't necessarily buy the strength at these levels either. So it's a very tricky spot to position if you haven't already. And I think an even more difficult task if you're looking to position, into the end of September and here into October, as I was kind of saying. But I think if we get some sort of, move higher in equities here into the end of the day, that probably bleeds over into crypto as well. And you see some sort of squeeze manifest, unless, of course, you think that crypto maybe front ran it yesterday. I'm not sure. But I do know, I don't know for sure, but I do think that we're probably going to get some answers to all of these questions that I've posed. I hope over the next 24 hours, probably into the end of the week. We mentioned that we have a new moon tomorrow, which will probably have some sort of impact on markets, or it won't, depending on kind of how you approach lunar cycles. But I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up either way, right? I mean, I think we have quad witching next week, which will be a very big event for all options. It's, where you have essentially 4 different types of options for U.S. legacies, all having their expiry dates on the exact same day. So that always, provides a lot of volume and a lot of volatility. I hate to say it again and sound like a broken record, but I really do feel as though the stage has been set for significant volatility in September and October, even though we haven't quite seen it yet here as we kind of near the midpoint of the month. But I want to open up the floor, guys. I definitely want to get your thoughts on how you're kind of viewing the inflation print we had. Is it a nothing burger? Is it something worth paying attention to? Do markets even care? Or, is this day completely a wash because markets don't care and it doesn't matter? I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say, and of course what it means for markets moving forward. But hope y'all are having a fantastic Wednesday, and thanks again, guys, for tuning in.
Snorlax, just a quick note, the quad witching is actually this Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Not know that.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It's definitely a weird spot right now where we're seeing price getting walked up, specifically looking at Bitcoin. And it's tough because this is a spot where we've been, consistently rejected from. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to get like overly bullish right into pretty clear resistance. But with that said, I mean, it certainly feels like it wants to squeeze, so it's tough, but then you also have to throw into the mix. Well, we had a CPI print this morning, and, upon that CPI print, we had a little bit of like a knee-jerk reaction down. So maybe this is just sort of a rebalancing that we're seeing right now, and it can be perceived as strength, but it's an awkward spot. It's a really awkward spot. But at the end of the day, we are still just ranging as Tucker has shown there on his chart. So basically, I mean, the CPI print this morning was I mean, it was a miss. We came in a little bit hot. Um, I would say it wasn't really too big of a miss, right? The more important thing to focus on is that core came in perfectly aligned with expectations, and largely, one of the reasons for the increase in year over year is due to seasonality more than anything. So, in and of itself, it's not so much an issue that CPI year over year, came in higher. As long as the market was expecting it to come in higher, the market just nukes or pumps when it's surprised. So, I don't think the market was overly surprised this morning. Again, the print wasn't amazing, but I don't think it was enough to really move the needle either way. So, I'm gonna just stick with the charts for now. I don't think that the data was enough to really do anything. Um, but we'll see. Price action's always a little bit goofy on days like today where, with pre-market, you don't really expect to see the NASDAQ just nuke 0.5% in a 2 to 5 minute window. It kind of throws off the flow for the rest of the day unless the reason for that nuke was actually substantial. And I don't know if I would consider this print to be overly bearish. I mean, I don't think it's enough to take us higher necessarily either. I think if we are going to move higher, it was going to go higher with or without the print. And if we're going to go lower, it was going to go lower with or without the print. So, anyways, yeah, I'm just kind of focused on crypto, but it's certainly an awkward spot. Like it's uncomfortable. Um, but I guess the important thing to note is like we are just still ranging. We are approaching range highs. The question is, are we expecting some sort of squeeze from here to like really flush out late shorts? I don't know. We've definitely had some. I mean, Tucker's looking at Matic right now. Like you can see how many stabs we've had at like 52 and a half cents. Question is, do we need to go up there again? Um, I don't know. I don't know, but it's definitely an awkward spot. I wouldn't be overly excited about positioning with fresh capital here. Um, but if you're riding good entries, then you have the luxury of just kind of waiting this thing out to see if we get some resolution. But right now, there's a lot of it. It looks like a bullish grind upwards. But
Mhm.
my gut's telling me that it's probably late shorts, just kind of closing positions. And it looks like a twop, but it's really just shorts kind of closing, and it looks like it's getting walked up. And it is, but it's not really demand driven. So yeah, we'll see. But I'll just throw it over to anybody else. What's up, guys? We'll have a little discussion here.
Yeah,
Oh,
real
you already
quick
know.
on this, like I think if you I think you could maybe get one of these and that's your short right there when you get back. Do that. Or if you roll over here, that's your short also, but I would personally wait for one of those two things to happen uh to get short on Matic cuz yeah, this is like just a little grind upwards. Not really pretty, but it is making a decent little trend line. I think if you break that, you could break down. But I would kind of wait. I think you could stab up in here. Damn, that's pretty high. 0.528. That is pretty high. I don't know. I think you could maybe get up in there, but yeah, I mean you're at range highs. Tommy was just talking about this. Moon, moon, moon. We're about to get one tonight, every local top. So I don't know. I think the CPI was pretty much a nothing burger. Equities are let's just look at
Chopping.
today. Yeah,
Just
chopping, chopping, chopping. Like the day started right here.
Uh,
Gapped
the
up, filled,
I have a
bounced.
question for you guys
What's
when you get
up?
a second.
What's up?
Wouldn't you read in the higher for longer, at least for now, in the way the market has been reading it as bullish?
Wait, what? Just the hot print?
No, yeah, just higher for longer is bullish. Yeah, the hot print.
I think yeah, I
Just
mean
by market reaction.
I don't think the print was too bad. Yeah, like I think it was pretty neutral. Like
Mhm.
I don't think it was bullish. I don't think it was really bearish either, though. I think it was. I mean, I think equities are probably just going to continue doing this all day because they don't know what to do. But what did we see? We saw core come down. I think we saw month over month exactly in line. So I don't know. They're probably done hiking, honestly. I don't know what the Fed Watch tool says. I can look it up real quick. But I mean, they're probably done. We're probably in the phase of like pause for as long as they can, and then like in my opinion, wait for something to go wrong and then cut. But
I mean, but couldn't they pause infinitely?
no, I don't think they could
I mean,
hold rates.
I
where they
don't
are.
I don't mean in like I guess realistic terms. I mean infinitely until something breaks. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'd expect. Like that they would hold rates this high as long as they can until either something breaks, which I know is so like cliche and like left curve almost, but like that's the only way I know how to say it. Like something breaks and equities start nuking, or the bond market can't hold up and they can't pay their they can't service their debt at 5.5% or something goes wrong and they start cutting. But I think they're most likely done hiking. Like right now there's a 97% chance that they pause at this next meeting. When is the next meeting? The 20th. Okay, yeah, so next week. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think it's
I was
bullish.
watching across Twitter and I was listening to quite a few people telling me how they were going to raise rates again. And I was just like, I don't know if that's really going to be a thing. I was like, at this point, like we're
I
so
think they're
far
done,
in.
man. I think they're probably done.
I think they're done, but I don't think it would matter if they did at this point. I don't think anybody cares like if they raised another 25. Like I really
I
don't
would
think
agree
it would
with that.
matter to the
Yeah, I would agree
market.
with that.
Yeah.
Well, while I do agree that the market looks like it's getting locked up, Max, like I definitely think that that's the case. And this is why I was talking to you guys the other day, and I was like, look, I was like, 28K looks to be like it could be in the cards again. And I know it's not something that everybody's entertaining at the moment, but
We want to talk
that
about Dixie Will.
that retest of those lows looks like, yeah, but you've also got a lower high technically from that trend, right?
No, I know. I'm not saying. I mean, it could be bearish. Like I literally don't even.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at it since it started breaking out.
To me, what I would do is I wouldn't even try and analyze this from a bull bear standpoint. I analyze it from a consolidation range, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at the dollar right now, and that dollar consolidation is from the top of your yellow line right there to the lows. That's your consolidation range.
Ooh. Right in that golden pocket. This is your reject zone, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think the dollar necessarily looks absurdly bullish, but I do think there are liquidity factors that can contribute to it continuing to push higher.
Yeah, we also have to consider too, dollar can go up just by other countries buying dollar, right? And if other countries are suffering, that doesn't mean necessarily assets go down and dollar goes. I mean, assets go up and dollar goes down. It could mean dollar continues to support itself and assets continue to float up because other countries are buying dollar, right? We have to look at it from both sides, glass half full, glass half empty scenario, and understand that there's two scenarios here that could play out for dollar. And that's why it's hard to gauge dollar versus downside versus upside, right? I will say consistently, as long as dollar remains in the strong area, it is indicating that on a longer term trend, I think dollar trends up higher. And assets do get nuked, but just later rather than sooner, in my opinion. But
Yeah, and if we pause at the meeting next week, I mean it's priced in that we pause, but like obviously that's not bullish for the dollar if we pause, right? Like us hiking rates is bullish. So a pause is, I would say, neutral, but the issue is if other countries continue hiking while we're paused, that should theoretically be bearish for the dollar, but I don't know. There's a lot more that goes into it than that, for sure. But
a pause of rates is a pause in a dollar. That's basically it. At least
what about the time where markets could be moving lower with the dollar? Is that here?
I don't think it's here quite yet. I think
what sort of conditions are conducive to a correlation like that?
I mean, you need outright deflation, basically, right?
Yeah. I would also say too that would be like a temporary move, right? just like dollar and assets rising together would be a temporary move. Like, and I think like people got to understand, like when you're in an area of liquidity where dollar and assets are working in tandem, you're in like a Goldilocks, a golden pocket, a temporary price zone, right? That is going to tend to trend the opposite direction very fast, very aggressively. So if you're moving down together, eventually you're going to bounce, and you're going to bounce hard on both. And honestly, assets will probably continue where a dollar will continue to roll over, right? They'll bounce initially at the low together, and then one will continue up chatting, the other one will continue dropping, and vice versa. If they're both going up together, dollar and assets rising, and then eventually assets will fail, and assets will start to roll over, whereas dollar will continue chatting up. And that there it's literally like a little pocket of liquidity that you can grab there, but don't think there's going to be any type of continuation of the two following each other.
This
Like,
this is
want to go the opposite.
I like this comment from Parga. Let me pull up the 10-year. So he says they think I think they won't say they're done because they're worried about yields coming down. They'll continue to say Fed can hike to maintain the yields where they're at. I like that.
They could to entice yields. I would see that argument, right, to try and entice people into yields.
Well, no, I don't think they want. I don't think they want people aping into bonds here. Like I think they want yields to stay.
You think just because they don't want people to be scared? I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want people buying their debt.
Yeah, no, I don't think they want yields lower yet until they're like pretty sure that they have it. Because I don't know if Powell really believes that he has inflation under control, even though like we've come down a lot. I think he still realizes that we have a long way.
I think they need to pin it. I think they need to pin it right here, man. I don't think they can go higher without the cliche breaking something. Let's look at the 2-year. All right. I know we're go to the 2-year for me. Can you go to like a weekly or monthly time frame? Or
Max,
2-week or something?
I know we talk about this. Like, let's get
this
into
is the
your
same.
world.
Can you overlay SPX on the bottom there, Tucker?
Mm-hmm.
And look at what's happened previously when the 2-year has been where it's at. Let's just say above 4% ish. I mean, it's been
like here.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, like we can't have rates going much higher, man. Like
things happen when they get up above 5%.
Yeah, and the consumer, the consumer's debt to income ratio is basically at all-time highs. People are using more credit now than they ever have. So I mean it's a recipe for disaster. Like they need to pin it, if anything. Like they really can't go higher. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but truly, like the cliche something will break is actually, it's not going to be cliche anymore if we see things go much higher, man.
I wanted to bring it to your realm of expertise there, Max. And I know we're talking about the 2-year here specifically, but I want to talk about rates and their effect on the housing market and commercial housing market and so on and so forth. Because I think a lot of people ignore that. And I believe in 2008, before we end up getting some kind of substantial risk in the housing side, or at least in the commercial side, we were at roughly about 8% on loans. Like, what are your thoughts right now with rates being at 6 to 7% for a home loan or any other type of loan for, any type of, we'll say housing or anything like that?
I think the single family market's really just at a stalemate. There's really not a large incentive for sellers to. There's not a large incentive for anybody right here. Buyers simply can't afford to buy homes. Sellers don't have to because they're not subject to rate hikes because most of them refinanced at sub 4% and they're locked in for 30 years. So right now, I think the market's at a stalemate. Going back to 1995, we're basically at like all-time lows for new mortgage applications. So there's just really not any appetite right now. The only thing that's going to cause the market to, the single family market to adjust and slide, most likely going to be unemployment ticking up and people have to sell because they can't afford to make their, 4% 30-year fixed rate payments. But that's literally it. That's it right there. So beyond that, I don't really see what's going to move the needle. Supply is at all-time lows. Mortgage applications are, the lowest they've been since 1995. New mortgage applicants, even though it is at all-time lows, those that are applying have the highest debt-to-income ratio that we've seen since 2007. So it's just at a stalemate. Like, what's really going to move the needle on it? One, we need supply to increase. We need more homes on the market. The only way we're going to get more homes on the market is if people literally have to sell their houses. And right now, nobody has to sell their house. People still have jobs and they're still locked in at 3.5% fixed rate. So we're just at a stalemate. That's it.
Yeah, and I think that's something important to look at. And I think you touched on a couple points there that are just not iterated on enough, I would say. And that's that nobody's going to step in front of a 7% APY on your home loan. All
Dude,
right?
they literally
Nobody.
can't, even if they want to, man. Like,
Look,
even if they want to,
they
can't do it.
Here's the other thing, Max. The other point that you touched on. The only people that are probably have a high debt to income ratio, right? So they're trying to apply in the area of where the least amount of people are applying because they have a higher likelihood of getting the house that they'll probably lose, right? In that interest rate and because of debt to income. And so you're basically you're catering at this point not to people that can buy the house and are willing to, but you're catering to people who really shouldn't have houses, but it's the only buyer you have.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
We've talked about that too, man. All these backdoors into buying houses or buying assets that you can't afford. I mean, here's the next thing that's going to happen, man. So, like, let's look at the Ninja loans from 2007 to 2008, right? No background check, no credit check, no employment verification. Like, they just gave out more variable rate debt to basically anybody who applied, so everybody could go buy a house. As a matter of fact, you could go buy 2 houses, 3 houses, 4 houses. They didn't care, man. Like, you show up, you sign the dotted line. The mortgage broker is going to happily give you a note because he's just taking points off the origination, right? That's what happened in 2007, 2008 at a very simple level, right? It's more complex than that. What we're seeing right now is another backdoor into getting people into homes. They dropped the conventional requirement of 20% down to as low as 3% down. You now only have to put down 3% of your home's purchase price as a down payment. And there's plenty of other backdoors. Like for first-time home buyers, it's like 1%. There's some local banks here that I've spoken with, as low as 1% down if you're a first-time home buyer, and your credit score only has to be like 575 or higher. So they're just eager to dump whatever they possibly can on people and get them to sign up for mortgages. We're going to see a major correction in the single-family market, but I think the next backdoor that they're going to do, and it's potentially going to prop the market up and not allow it to topple. And what we're going to see is the extension of the amortization schedule. So typically it's like, 20-year note, 30-year note. So you take your payment and it's spread out over 20, 30 years. They're basically going to throw a 40-year amortization at you. I'm telling you right now.
I thought they
The
already
only way that
extended
they
it, didn't they?
so they're going to keep rates somewhat high. The only way that they get this market out of a stalemate and they increase demand is by basically keeping rates high, but just say, yeah, you look, who cares if you have to pay it off over 40 years instead of 30 years? Look at your payment is, 30% lower. This is fantastic for you, and then they'll lock you in. So there's, higher prepayment penalties and stuff like that. But that's how they keep the Ponzi going in single families, just allow you to spread out that debt over many more years. And I'm calling it right now. That's going to be the next extension of the Ponzi, man. It's not good.
Isn't that like an extension of supporting good debt with bad debt? I mean, that's the way I would see it, essentially, right?
I mean, that's
At
kind
least
of
in this environment.
the American way, though, isn't it, Will? It's to, maybe you take on a little bit of pain, but at the end of the day, all we do is kind of kick the can down the road and push problems of today and into the future.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people read into the "you will own nothing" a little too deep. I think the "you will own nothing" is you'll be paying, lifetime loans on your home. You'll literally be like 50, 60-year loans that people can take out just so they can get a house. And their generation will never see that house and they'll probably pay 5 times the value of the house. by the time it's done and said and over with.
I mean, it's either that or we have a generation of renters, which is already like a thing, right?
That's probably it, man. Honestly.
Mhm.
So they're kind of walking up equities here. I don't know if I buy it entirely, but they're definitely walking it up.
Yeah, they broke that high of the day. They set at the open just now.
How does Apple look? Real quick.
Let's look.
The
You guys like the new
175.
titanium phone?
I mean,
I haven't
Apple
even
doesn't
looked
look very convincing.
Nah.
Let's see. Hanging out at the lows.
Yeah,
What's it done today? I want to see today.
dumped.
Where's the open? Right here, probably.
Yep.
Is that 8? No, that's not. Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's today's action.
Very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I guess people didn't like the new iPhone 15.
I mean, dude, here's the issue with Apple, man. From somebody who's stuck in their ecosystem, all right? I'm not talking about company fundamentals, all right? I understand what they're doing. I actually appreciate what they're doing. They're the biggest company in the world. Do you really want to see the biggest company in the world taking risks? No, you don't. You want them to be a pillar of stability, okay? You don't want them taking risks. So it's like, yeah, all of us who are stuck in their ecosystem, like we just need our stuff to continuously work. It can never go down. The operating system has to be easy to use. It has to be encrypted, right? You have to have faith that your stuff is safe, secure, accessible all the time. You don't want them taking risks. I want them taking risks because I miss the days of innovation. I miss when they were coming out with disruptive technology. What they're doing right now is not disruptive. They're just making it more seamless or a little bit higher quality, but they're not really improving upon anything. They're not innovating, right? So the natural cycle of these things is a company like Apple becomes so big and so bloated and overly trusted, perhaps, where they can't be as innovative and creative as they used to be. Then some new company comes in and they can take risks and they knock Apple off the top spot because they came out with a better product. That's going to happen eventually. And then Apple's going to be forced into a spot where they have to innovate in order to compete. We're not there yet. They're still killing it, but that's why Apple's phones just kind of suck now, man. Like they just work, but I've got an iPhone 12 and it does the exact same thing as the iPhone 15. It's just the iPhone 15 has their new A17 chip and a better camera.
Don't
And
forget
it's like
the camera.
I don't care if it has my camera is great. I don't need a better camera. It was great when you did it 5 years ago. I don't know, man. I'm disappointed.
The camera thing kills me, man.
Innovation. What?
The camera thing kills me, Max. Every year it's like, oh, we added an extra lens and it can go 2 more feet.
I mean, the new one's got a nice, it's 48 megapixels or whatever.
I
Like
don't care
it's
if it's
really nice, but
1,000,
it's like, what am I
200.
But
what do I need
guys,
that for, man? Like,
Have you heard of this? There's your competition.
Oh man,
yeah, bro, I'm all in on the Saga, man.
I don't know about that.
The
man.
I
Soul
am curious
Phone,
what
baby.
is actually competition for Apple though in the future. What is it going to be that forces them to innovate?
You know
It's
what?
not
I heard
going to be
rumors of,
Android,
Tommy?
man.
No, you know what I heard rumors of? I heard some rumors that Huawei is actually innovating and doing a great job. They got Uncle Sam breathing on their neck, but look, consumer gets what the consumer wants. If Huawei's coming out with revolutionary products, and rumor has it, I've been seeing some stuff online that their new phones are pretty kick-ass. Maybe it ends up being like the most hated Huawei rally.
The most hated Huawei
Maybe.
rally ever. Probably the only time
The
a
only-
Huawei rally has invoked such emotion in investors.
I don't know. I really want to bring it back, Max, and I think a lot of people don't think about this, but do you remember what AMD did to Intel? They obliterated them. They literally destroyed them. They came out with better tech. They came out with better chips, and they forced them into a market to where they had to cut their chip prices in half. And this is where Apple is positioning itself to be. This is why, like, investing in a company like Apple, if they end up forced into a position like that, what will that say for a $3 trillion stock?
So, Will, you've
far as
said this
value.
before, man. You've always kind of dunked on people that are like eager to buy the Apple dip, and for good reason, because it's precisely what I was just talking about. People go to Apple because it's stable. They know it's not going to rug. It's a pillar of investing stability. They care far more about their shareholders than they do actually innovating. They've strayed away from the vision of their founder. But that's what's expected and demanded of them. They're a multi-trillion-dollar company, the largest in the world. Do you really want them taking risks? No. You want their share price to consistently grow 8 to 10% per year. And you don't even care about a dividend.
But you can't have both, right, Max? I mean, you
Exactly.
can't have a growth company that's not growing.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's the point that I try to get to all the time. It's like, is this a bond or is it a growth company? Right. And to me, people treat Apple like a bond. It's like, if you want 5%, 3%, bonds are your better choice. Why? Because the government can print that money. Right. Whereas if you go into something like Apple for 0.06% dividends, like, why? Why would you? What is the point? Warren Buffett holds the majority share of that. Like, his percentage of Apple, like, he is raking in all the profits from that company.
Guys, these Huawei phones are insane. I've just
Yeah,
been
man. I'm
staring at
telling you,
their
I was seeing some
website.
stuff. It's pretty cool.
Dude,
I
are
mean,
they
you
out
also
yet or what?
I don't think you can buy them in the US, man. I'm pretty sure they're not allowed here.
What
They
if I
got
turn
banned a
on a
few years ago,
VPN?
man. No,
What
there
if
were
I
some like major issues, alleged security issues. I don't know.
Some Chinese
Threat
spies?
to national security from the People's Republic of China. I don't
Oh
know.
my
But
god.
they're not allowed here in the US. I had a Huawei for a minute, man.
No,
I
you
got tired
didn't.
of Apple. I got tired of Apple like 6, 7 years ago. And I went to Best Buy and I was like, I'm just buying a phone today. I'm done with my iPhone. And I just bought a Huawei. And it was so nice, man. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The only thing that I didn't like about it was, I mean, one, you can't really beat Apple's ease of use. I mean, it is so easy to use and get all your stuff synced up together. It's really, really solid. Like, I'll give them credit where credit is due. They do it really well. But at the same time, it's like, dude, the Huawei, man, you could do. They're innovating, man. It had like this little infrared thing on the end, and you could like turn your TV on from your phone, and actually like you could like sync it up to random things, just like in any room, and just like turn things on. And it was kind of freaky, man. Like, I actually messed around with it in public a couple times. There was like a projector in a classroom. I was in college, and I like turned the projector off
No.
with the phone. Yeah. No, it's cool. Like, they're innovating. It's like cool technology. Apple's not cool technology. It's technology for business professionals. So I don't know. I like Apple, but I'm not impressed by them anymore, man. But they got me. I'm a customer for life. I'm in their ecosystem. But I think the best thing for Apple would probably be just like somebody really starts innovating and taking risks and gives Apple users an out, then Apple will be forced to innovate. But
Yeah.
I want to talk about the moon, guys. I want to talk about the
I
moon.
know.
Actually, I want Tommy
Same.
to talk about the moon. I want
Same.
Tommy to talk about the moon.
I just know we have a new moon tonight. So
Come
it'll
on,
be a
you're
big-
downplaying
it'll
it,
be a
man.
big inflection
All
point.
I know is okay.
Guys.
It's gonna be a very important moon. I think mainly because CZ's sign is no longer like right. I don't really know the terminology for it, but I guess it's like not in view anymore. It's kind of symbolic. But I will say, when I look at the moon cycles, just on the chart, the fact that we've had a BART into every single lunar phase this year is kind of strange. I've never seen that before. I was back testing it on Bitcoin last night to see if that has ever happened before, and I can't remember any time where it has looked at quite this manner. So
Is it tonight? We get one tonight?
Yeah, we get one tonight.
Let's go.
So yeah,
So we get the dark moon, the dark symbol.
Yes,
like the shaded moon. I don't know what the difference between the two are, but
new moons are typically more bearish, but it doesn't mean we can't squeeze into the new moon, right?
So my quant My quant just DM'd me, and he told me.
Who's your quant?
He told me that we need more likes on the video.
Oh, Will got me, man.
What?
Will got me. Will, you got it, man. Can you hype him up today? I usually do it. Can you finish it off here? We need more than that. Come on now. Hit him with the spiel, Will. Hit him with the full thing.
All right. I mean, normally my quant watches the video. Bitcoin go to 28K. We need to just get more likes, right? And if you'd like Bitcoin to go to 25K, it works the same way, right? So it just depends on what side of the trade you're on, and that's what side will benefit from these likes going up. So if everybody just goes ahead and pushes those like buttons up to that 40K range or that 40 range, right? We can see Bitcoin pump or Bitcoin dump depending on how you're feeling about the market. So
you can't go wrong.
Whatever your heart
you
desires.
can't go wrong. Yeah, it's whatever your
You
heart
can't go
desires.
wrong. You just have to live. You have to like your truth, man. You just have to live your truth.
Exactly. Live your
You
truth.
get whatever
and
you
the
want,
likes
man.
will be in your
Hey,
favor.
we need to stop taking profit at 40. That's a great point there, Wes.
That is a good
I think
point, Wes.
We need to up that.
All right, we'll let it ride, man. I mean, we're at 30 right now. The like trade is going well. I mean, I think we could maybe we'll trail out at like 41, 42 likes,
Might start
Well,
to
we're
hedge
live.
around 40 with some like perps, but
What's the funding on those though, Tommy? Have you checked?
it's a little bit negative. We got a spot bid coming in, so
Oh, spot bid to support the likes. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, so is this some ritualistic walk up before the new moon? Is that what we're seeing here?
yeah,
All year.
I kind of think it's something, man. Like I'm not gonna ascribe any like ritualistic aspect to it, other than the fact that I mean, there's a clear symmetry with that range, and I don't know how it's gonna resolve yet, but I do think it's a little suspicious if you follow lunar cycles to see something like that.
Guys, Evan Casey is begging us to get long. Should we submit?
I mean, if you were going to get long, it was 25K is where you should have got long.
Evan, just because today's kind of boring, I want you to send me a DM on Twitter right now. I'm going to get you on the show right now for the second half. Okay. This is your chance. All right. You're in the comments every day, man. We love you in the comments, but I think we're going to love you here. Today is the day, man. Brush your hair, put a nice shirt on, or don't. You're coming on the show, man. Send me a DM on Twitter right now. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in our spaces. I think you got your face as your profile picture. I want Evan Casey on the show for the second half right now. I'm checking my Twitter. Evan, you want us long? Come plead your case. It's Evan Casey's time. I'm refreshing my Twitter, Evan. I don't have any
he wants
DMs
to do
from you.
tomorrow.
Yeah, Evan,
Longing
this
into
is
a new
it,
moon
man.
That can probably yield some mixed results. So
Evan, we all woke up an hour ago, brother. It's okay.
Evan, today's the day, man. I'm telling you right now, today, I'll give you a few minutes. It's all good. The invitation remains, but, just throw a hat on, man. You don't have to look cute.
Just wipe the crust
We're
out of your
a bunch
eyes
of
and you're
guys
good.
just talking markets. There's no girls watching this show. I promise you that, Evan. It's just a bunch of
Zero.
dudes.
that we know of. That we know.
Not one woman is here, Evan. You don't have to look good, man. We just want to hear that insight.
Not one woman is here. Okay.
I'm waiting for that DM, Evan. I want you
know,
on the
man.
show, man.
That
Oh,
sounds like a
man.
false narrative.
Hang on.
His soul pumping.
I mean, it's up more than the rest of the market, yeah. We also have Ox with a nice little move, eh? Boom.
I want Ox lower, honestly, man. I need to buy more.
There's the Ox fractal.
That's the fractal, man. That's it. Yeah, that's nice.
35. That's what you need, is some of that.
I think we'll get that, man. I think we'll spend some time ranging, and unless the market, as a whole, completely turns around, then maybe. But I think that on-chain season, and for right now, I would still consider Ox like part of on-chain season.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really see why anything on-chain would have a sustained move right now with Bitcoin where it is.
It's tough to see assets catch like this massive risk on bid unless we get some sort of one liquidity injection that's probably driven from a narrative, right? Like ETF, or you have some sort of like pump where we chase and take shorts out. But for altcoins, I don't really know necessarily what that means as far as risk on, especially for stuff like on chain that doesn't have perps yet.
Tommy, you know what on chain I was taking note to yesterday, had an alert go off. PvP, man.
Ooh.
I saw
I
it
think that
pump like 80% today.
No, it didn't.
today, did it go up
Something
again
like
today?
that, yeah.
Oh man.
I gotta check because I still got that moon bag. I got my principal back on it. It's your friend's project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
It's a
I
cool
kept a
little
moon
idea.
bag because I mean you guys are my friends in crypto, but I bet on my friends' friends in crypto. That's my strategy.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
I mean, unironically, it is a great strategy to bet on your friends in crypto, especially if you feel like I mean, especially if you've kind of been in the trenches with them for like a year, 2 years, and not only that they're a good trader, but also that they've already stuck out like a really nasty bear market that we had in 2022. So I bet on those people all the time.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. You got to support your friends. And I mean, look, I'm holding PvP. I don't really use it. Like it's gambling, right? Largely. I don't really gamble too much. Like I get my action from trading. But I saw that they were doing some pretty cool stuff, and it pumped like 100% yesterday. So, I mean, there's always going to be little things that move price, but these just aren't the conditions for sustained pumps. Like I feel like if that announcement, the PvP announcement they had yesterday with like, better gambling or whatever came out 3-4 weeks ago, it would have pumped like 1,000%. So
Yeah.
It's just a little dry right now.
It is. It is. It almost kind of feels like the only place to kind of extract liquidity if you're not trading perps, on chain or on an exchange is on Friendtech. And I don't know that I'm going to make a Friendtech. I go back and forth on it, but I can tell that's where the crowd that was trading on chain before, that was where they rotated their capital to, was to Friendtech. So, as far as like the hottest narrative, that's where the hot ball of money is right now. However, big or small you believe it to be.
Yeah, that's really true. And I mean, I think you say hot ball of money. That's a good way to put it. You could also say very small ball of money, man. You can see that they started with like mega cap altcoins, slowly worked their way down to on chain. When that stopped working, they couldn't pump that anymore, and they just keep going smaller and smaller and smaller.
I want to talk about that real quick, Max, because I was kind of doing some research yesterday on the hot ball of money. I'm going to share my screen real quick. It's just going to be quick.
No, go ahead.
All right, cool. So, coin margin OI. I've talked about this before. Why it matters. Because the market has never been the same since May 2021. This is when the ball of money was at its biggest. You can tell not just from Tether denominated open interest, but also from coin margin open interest.
Can you explain what that is, Tommy?
Yeah. So the difference is, people are longing Bitcoin futures here with Tether, or this is the combined total. So this is Tether and Bitcoin. And then here, this is them just longing Bitcoin with Bitcoin. So you can see on our first run up how organic and real this volume was. But after this May dump, I mean, we wiped out about 12 billion in total OI from top to bottom. With stable coins, you saw a bit of a resurgence in the echo bubble, but with coin margin, it was noticeably smaller, and the share of the market was noticeably lower. I mean, look at the liquidations here. It was a catastrophic event for the crypto bull run. And so ever since then, you've had the smaller and smaller ball of money. And I think coin margin contracts really sum this up, right? Because you had the second bubble, And then after that, after this December 4th wipeout, you've had basically no pumps on coin margin OI, right? You've had basically no money come into crypto that's new. And then I think as well, what this kind of means for altcoins is, the pumps are less and less, but also the fact that it was denominated in Tether, moving forward, you can look at something like, let's look at SHIB. Actually, no, let's look at, gosh, where is it on here? Yeah, BNB, and we'll look at AVAX. So these were some of the biggest pumpers of their, kind of their time. Okay. Getting there, bear with me. I mean, you could really see it on BNB, is what I will say. Right? You had the coin margin here, massive wipeout. And then you had another pump that was much smaller, right? So you had way less coin margin OI, way less organicness to the pump. But you still made it to here on the USD, largely because of the influence of Tether, right? But you can see ever since then, there's been no organic demand for BNB pretty much ever since. You can look at something, and also as well, like you see the total OI for BNB is about almost 1 billion at peak. You look at some of the second cycle leaders like an AVAX, and they only peaked at like 200 to 300 million in total OI. So all that to kind of say, that was just something I was kind of observing yesterday. The market has never been the same, and from numerous different reasons, because coin margin OI was wiped out in May of 2021, and the market shifted more in totality to Tether denominated futures. And the other important thing, like the reason for this, is because when you have a wipeout with coin margin futures, like those coins don't return to their hands, right? They go to the exchanges. So that money doesn't come back into the ecosystem unless it's through, you see it through maybe altcoin pumps that the exchange will kind of, facilitate. But I thought that was really interesting, especially the BNB chart where you can see organic demand pretty much completely cease after the 2021 end of year bubble.
It is very interesting. Would it be correct to basically just recognize that if coin margin open interest is dropping off of a cliff and hasn't recovered, there's simply just no demand for people to actually hold spot for anything, mainly collateralizing trades, but it's more representative of people just don't want to own anything but stables right now?
Yes and no. I think that's part of it. Like that was one thing that I kind of considered. People preferred probably to hold Tether over Bitcoin for the pure stability of it after, Bitcoin went down 50 to 60% in, like 2 or 3 weeks. But I also think a lot of long-term holders who were probably levered long against their stack, I mean, they'll never see those stacks again. So it was basically just this mass, this event where you had this mass changing, like coins changing hands. And I think that primarily shifted to exchanges, given how, you have Tether that has ever since that day just become, completely dominant from a futures denominated trading standpoint.
Tucker, what are you seeing here, man?
Yeah.
I don't believe they're going to walk up crypto, man. But
Tucker's the masseuse.
I agree on crypto. Equities, they might try to push it up here, but I don't know. I think this should generally cap you. Honestly.
Biggest bull trap, but they won't trap me.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on Sol. If they rip it, then that's a squeeze.
That's the thing too.
I think it's as simple as Sol.
Yeah.
But
they're trying to rip it.
It's a very slow grind. It's either going to blow off way higher than people expect, or this is complete bait towards the highs. And they have run that a few times this year.
Yeah, I was going to say they've run this area. This is where you want it to turn around. Wow, they are trying to run it up.
I told you guys 28K.
Hey, I could see it.
Yep.
I could see it.
Don't want to believe me.
Well, you were about to short the
I
lows
just don't think
yesterday.
I
Let's get
stopped
real.
though. I
Let's
Let's
stopped.
get real.
I just don't
stopped.
think they're going to.
Tucker just pulls that out, man.
Sometimes it's got to
You
be.
don't have to be
pulled
upset,
out.
all right? I'm not in the short, so it's okay.
I know.
Tucker said, "Oh, Will, you're excited about doing something right. Let me just smack that back down, man."
It happens, man. Look, I go into sometimes and I think about things thoroughly, and I'm just like, nah, that's the wrong decision.
No, you were
I just go
absolutely
where I'm
right
supposed
to not short 25K for sure.
Yeah, like it looked bad, but like it looked too bad, right? And I don't like things that look too bad.
They love that over under neckline like retest. Just get more longs in there. That's how I think it's going to end. But
This area, yeah.
Am I seeing a little inverse head and shoulders there, or no?
I don't know.
Questionable.
Ooh, Max is saying we should go long. Got it.
No, I'm not saying anything.
I think Will craves the the forbidden lamp. You guys have seen that meme, right? With the moth.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think so. Oh man.
I
Up
don't
we
know.
go.
It's just such an awkward spot. It's like, do you really want to try to long into like week-long resistance?
That's what
It's the
people
same
are
thing
doing.
trying to short the breakdown, man.
That's
I
exactly
mean,
what
you're
people
talking about retail right now.
That's exactly what people are trying to do. Is long into this.
They're trying to long into a breakout right now. It's the same thing as if Will had shorted yesterday.
They're smoking shorts on Sol.
You got to look at the market as a whole, evaluate it, know when you're being goaded and baited, and stop. Right?
Well, longs are for sure being baited right now.
I
I
think
mean,
so.
they're going to get baited higher.
They could be. They could retrace. They could retrace all this OI. You know.
Let's see here.
They could do it.
Gotta love it. Just another day in cartel land.
Just another OI Bart. Look at that.
I mean,
Boom.
Perps volume. Perps is leading this. There is some spot volume, but it's predominantly Perps right now.
It's Michael
So-
Saylor.
This will probably get
Saylor.
reversed here, man. Yeah, this is.
Ooh, is that an inverse? Yeah, that looks like an inverse on Soul, man. I'm not gonna lie. That looks like an inverse.
Will,
on
you should
Soul.
long it then, Will. You should do
Hell
it right
no,
now.
I
Because
Yeah.
you said
Will,
you're that
go get
convicted,
long
you should
Soul.
long it.
Soul is going to
Will,
single
you just-
digits.
You just said how convicted you were that it looks like an inverse. You should
no.
long it then.
I'm not convicted on. I think Soul's zeros, but you know.
Well, that's not what you just said, Will. You said it was
Hey,
inverse.
inverse head and shoulders doesn't mean that it's gonna stay bullish forever. All right.
Will, that's because you're looking at it going, damn, they're sending it right into range high and everyone's getting excited again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could take you up to 20, but
That's what I'm saying. Like that's nothing. That's literally nothing.
that's nothing.
Ah, man. 19 to 19.2 is all
That's
you're
your
getting.
You know what's funny, Tucker? That's your resistance high, just like 28K is your resistance high for Bitcoin.
Oh no.
I need
I wouldn't say.
soul break structure though, because this is what it pretty much like all of these Binance altcoins have been doing is they squeeze and then they don't find any demand and then just end up paying these really ugly wicks.
Dude, there's no wicks that look uglier than Matic right now, man.
It
What
looks
happened last night?
hysterical.
What
Wait,
happened
what?
last night should be illegal. Zoom in on that, Tucker. I woke up and all I said was, "Thank God I wasn't awake for that."
That's mechanical. I promise you, that's like algos. And
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really recognize it either. Sometimes that's just like mechanical moves.
I mean,
That's
they added.
bidding at the trend line and just squeezing incessantly every time you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
I will not long. I will not long into resistance, just like I will not short the breakdown, man. Can't do it. You want to break it out, then send it to 27 and I'll long the retest of 26.6. But I'm not going to get bullish into range high resistance, man. Not me. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
They will not trap Max.
It is the
No,
way.
they will not trap me. I will long a proper retest if we break out, but I'm not going to long like within $100 of our range high on Bitcoin.
Look how much OI they added.
They've added a lot, and I'm pretty sure it's almost all longs. Oh, you're talking about Matic?
Yeah, like
That
on
was
this
CPI
candle?
short, but dude, that's Matic. That's probably like two guys trading.
Yeah.
Two guys, two whales trading.
No, look at
against
that.
each
There's
other.
like $8 million in OI. Like that's literally probably like a couple whales, man. There's nobody trading it right now. That's why it's
Yeah.
trading
It
like
was
it is.
literally 10 mil in OI.
I will say the chat that had been trading this token the most hasn't been trading it like at all this week, and you can very clearly see it reflected in the funding.
Funding was positive last night, I think, when I went to bed. It's probably back negative now, I bet.
It's negative, but it's more negative on Binance than Bybit.
Let me see.
Yeah, hang on.
Anyone worried that Bitcoin is negative funding on DYDX right now?
I have no idea like what edge DYDX has as far as funding goes. I was telling Max and Tucker about this. Like I also, I don't know that there's enough OI for it to be super relevant, but I've tried to figure out if is it smart money or not, and I don't know. I don't know.
I think I can't say definitively, but I know it's not dumb money. It might be no signal, but I know it's not a fade. I know it's not like Bybit, and I can tell you I know that because I've been down on positions and I've noted the funding when I'm in like a stressful position. And usually when DYDX flips in my favor and I'm in a bad spot, it seems to be kind of reliable, truthfully.
Yeah, it's pretty negative on Apex, but there is only 1.4 mil in notional OI.
And you're probably half of that, Tucker.
I'm a lot of that, honestly. That's unfortunate. I might need to not do that, actually.
Yeah, I'm not going to get bullish into range high resistance. Will, did you long Sol yet for the breakout?
Oh no, I didn't want Sol, bro. We talked about this. I hope Tommy, you got your nice new suit you're gonna take down there for that steak. Take some pictures. Send them over.
Oh, I'm gonna get that steak. That's what I'm really looking forward to is the steak.
Tommy's going to get the best 4-ounce medium well fillet of his life.
Dry aged. Don't forget dry aged.
4 ounce.
It'll be dry. I don't know if it'll be aged, but it'll be dry. Yeah.
Medium well is blasphemous. We're Stephen.
It is. I'm just kidding, Tommy. If Sol goes sub $10, Tommy's going to get a beautiful 85-day aged bone-in ribeye, seared to perfection. Oh, it's good.
We're gonna record it and put it on the Because Bitcoin YouTube.
We will.
Tommy just eating.
We're gonna do an ASMR of Tommy eating his prime ribeye.
He has to wear a mic like right here. You can hear him just chomping.
Yeah. So guys, we do have 50. We got 50 people watching. We got 38 likes. I'd love 40 likes on this video today, guys. That'd be absolutely fantastic. If you are enjoying the content so far, please consider helping support the channel by liking this stream. Thank you guys so much for being here on your Wednesday, your CPI day. And also, maybe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider subscribing. This is Market Check brought to you by Because Bitcoin. We do this show every single day at 10:40 a.m. Eastern Time. We are here for you guys every single day, Monday through Friday. So yeah, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. But at a minimum, if you're enjoying the content so far, please consider liking the stream. Help us get to 40 likes. And we just got to 41. Thanks, guys. So Tucker, what is this structure that you are drawing right now? What is that pennant?
I don't know what it is, honestly. I just think
Veteran
you
voice.
should, I just
Good
think you
luck,
shouldn't touch it. Don't touch it till it's up here. or if it breaks down. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know. I think Sol needs to turn around right here. I think like all this OI came in right here, right? So we've got some round trip ors. The question is, are they going to add to their shorts?
Would you really play for the long side range breakout when we have a new moon in 12 hours? Would you really do that?
I mean, they might pump it into the new moon. Who knows? You know?
Ritualistic sacrifice, right, Tommy?
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
Someone must be sacrificed.
If we're making like a fourth altar essentially in the range, that would be very spooky.
And does anybody want to talk about the fact that this is the final new moon before the autumn equinox?
Gotta love it.
You want to know what another word for autumn is?
Fall.
Yes, sir. The fall equinox.
We are technically right at the value area high of the entire consolidation range that we put in since August 17th.
On Bitcoin?
Yeah. Like if you anchored a profile to the liquidation candle,
the top of the grayscale one? Or?
No. The
the whole range.
Yeah. So
everyone getting bullish into value area high.
What's new?
New moon in 12 hours.
Maybe deviate it. Swipe
on
those
CPI
highs.
day.
We could do that. Maybe not that high, but we could do. Yeah. Could be. Oh,
or we could be
breakout. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good. You know how many people would long the top right here? I mean, it would be unreal.
Yeah, man, I'm not really buying this. I'm not really buying this, man. I don't think that this is bullish here. It's squeezy. It's not bullish though.
When you build a lot of value at the top of the range, I mean, to me, this is either like we're going to get a pop outside of value or this is not the place to get long because it's probably going to nuke really hard. If you fail to break out at range high again, given the volume we've transacted up here, it's going to be a nuke. But it could also, you know, like I said, we're building volume at range highs, so it could also pop here as well.
28K, Will? 28K?
Yeah.
You think we're going to take out the high of the grayscale news?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if we don't, you buy me a steak, all right?
We're going to rebalance it, bro. We're going to rebalance.
Max is hedging his steak betting.
He's trying to hedge his steak.
Max
Max
might owe 2 steaks. It's short. We're going to take Max's edge out and then dump it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to sweep 28,133. I owe Tommy, or I owe Will a steak, and then sold nukes to $8, and I owe Tommy a steak. Be a bad day for me, man. 2 ribeyes.
That'd be pretty funny.
I don't know, man. What are equities doing?
Wasting our time.
You know,
Wasting our time. Yeah. What, Tommy?
That scam chop they've been doing all day.
I know.
Bro, that SPY move though. What is moving in SPY? We know Apple's not going. We know Nvidia is not really moving. What is moving in SPY?
Puts. Probably hedges off.
Puts are pushing price
incinerated.
up.
The same way they push price up all year. Puts.
Yeah.
Burning 0-day contracts.
Unfortunato.
Imagine we dump into close.
Imagine.
What's going on here? QQQ leading. The chips are moving. Nvidia.
Yeah, I mean, we're pumping, but it's like, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like a bid necessarily, right?
No, it doesn't.
It's a walk up.
Let me any thoughts on the Euro, Tommy?
I gotta run.
on the
Or
euro.
Will? Oh, all right. See you, Will.
Will. Yeah, I was looking at this chart the other day, Tucker. I'm not sure because from a technical standpoint, this is about this is support, but
Yeah.
we only made a very marginally higher high on a higher time frame. So it kind of looks like a 3-drive distribution.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of.
This was Euro was somewhat correlated to Bitcoin for a bit. I remember we did this on the show a while ago.
Yeah, we did.
Euro moves a little bit before Bitcoin often.
Yeah.
Well, because they're both inverse dollar, technically, kind of, right? I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, lots of things are very weird spots.
Just like watching them walk it up like this is so suspicious.
Yeah.
Because looking at the OI, it literally looks like it's just longs. But maybe they all pay.
I just wondered on Bitcoin, that drop we had on the 11th and the 12th, down to 25K, how much shorting was done down there?
I mean, not enough to where there's, I think, residual amount still left over that's notable. Like we pretty much already flushed it.
Yeah.
Maybe more alts and Ethereum, but I don't see a reason for those assets to squeeze.
On any given day, Tommy.
On any given day, you're right. That's very true. And this market needs no reason.
I don't know. I'd say the euro doesn't look great here.
Like this is literally the spot where they either pop it up 1,000 points in one candle or they dump it and roll it over. And this was bait.
Man.
Yeah.
Even from a momentum standpoint, I think on like multiple time frames, this is where you would kind of need to see a response if you're bearish to remain bearish locally.
Yeah, what is
I mean, if ETH flips like 1922 to 25, I could see 1700 again, honestly.
Balancing.
But it's right here, this is the spot. So it's like this is your extreme. This is where the bears are starting to feel the pressure. This is where the bulls are starting to get a little bit excited about the prospect of a real breakout. But
we did just fill the last inefficiency on the 1 minute.
On the 1 minute.
What about the 3.5? What about the 3.5 second? Did you check that yet?
Well, hey, look now. I look for liquidity, right? And if there's the next highest liquidity now for Bitcoin is officially above the highs.
I'm just giving you crap. I know.
I know.
I know. I'm just giving you crap because I'm gonna have to buy you a steak, so I get to give you crap.
Should we just hang out on the 1 minute for a little?
Go lower, man. Go lower.
I can't go lower.
What are you talking about? You can go lower. Oh, you don't pay for premium.
I don't have premium.
Wow.
I have Pro Plus.
Why don't you guys just Black Friday sale buy premium every year, man? That's what I do. You guys are on this every single day. Why would you not have the best of something you use every single minute of your day?
I know. I'm gonna send it this Black Friday. I've just been
if you were a swing trader and you only looked at TradingView once a week, I'd be like, whatever. You guys are on like the 1 minute chart all day long and you don't pay for premium.
That's fair. Wait, Tommy,
and
what do you have?
I know you both trade size too.
I think I have premium. I might not have like the most premium version, but
that's what he's talking about, Tommy. I have the second down.
No, that doesn't count, man. You got to actually get premium.
Well, I got the indicators, right? I can put as many indicators as I want on the chart. That's gotta mean something.
No. You can't put 25 indicators.
Yeah, try to put 25
I see you
on
get
there.
Stuffed. You've gotten stuffed before.
Why in God's name would I need 25 indicators? Unless I'm one of those just people who obsess over moving averages to the point where they have to have like 20 on there at once.
I
Right.
think the real benefit is the 1 second chart. I would say that's probably what. That's the
Nah,
only
man, I'm
reason I
telling
would
you
buy it.
the
If I'm
benefit to
taking
have. I
trades
got
on the
20
1 second
indicators.
chart, then I don't know. I might have my priorities in the wrong place for taking the trade, unless it's like an event.
I've got 20 indicators on my default,
Oh my god!
and it saves me about 5 seconds just having them up there, not having to go and search for them.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
the
you don't
benefit.
turn
Just
them on
favorite
all at once. You just
favorite the indicators on TradingView. So you
That's
click on
way too
indicators.
complicated.
yeah, but if
Tommy.
if they're already right here, you know what
I
I
would
mean?
never do that. Yeah, I keep them all on the left side, just like Tucker showed.
I keep
That's the way
about
to
3
do
or 4 there. I
Guys,
don't
You know,
like
they
if we
just came
lose-
out with a new, like a premium above normal premium, or you can have 50 indicators up.
why. I
And the
mean,
only
maybe
reason
for,
I
like,
know that,
something
the
really
only reason I know that is
advanced,
because I tried to put on more than 25 indicators, and it was like upgrade for more. You can have 50, and I was like, oh, what is this? It was like $2,000 a month or something like that. It was like crazy.
2,000.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
TradingView. That's
I don't need
institutional
that.
grade TradingView right there.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like the schizo package, man. If you need to have 50 indicators up at the same time.
The schizo package.
with the premium Elliott wave generator. Oh man, it's over. We lost the green line. It's completely over.
And I just want to see some volatility at this point. I'm sick of the dilly dallying. Just squeeze or don't, you know.
Wait, you're telling me you don't appreciate what's going on right now?
Not anymore, man.
This is ideal trading conditions.
This is
Tommy.
exhilarating.
Obscene.
It doesn't get more ideal than this, man.
There's your crossover right there, boys. Send it lower.
What crossover? Oh, on the 1 minute.
The
That's
12
the most Tucker comment ever.
The 12:21 on the 1 minute, brother. Let's just watch the 12
crossover. It's over. Looks at the chart. It's a 1 minute.
There. 12:21 on the 1 minute. Let's see. Yeah, well, that was the bottom. The crossover here was the bottom.
They're gonna trap you.
They're probably going to trap people who shorted it right here on the cross.
And this is value area high. They might third drive it though above it.
Let's get even more granular.
Man.
Oh yeah, it's over. We're below value area low on the 1 minute.
I can't wait for it to immediately reclaim it within like 30 seconds.
Let's draw some fibs.
All right, Tucker, this is the most in-depth analysis I've ever seen into a 1 minute chart.
Okay, yeah, there's your zone. There's your zone. You want to take that short right there, boys.
You can't teach
In
what
case
Tucker's
he
doing
loaded
right
up, brother. Load it up. There's your short.
now. Stop above the wick, he says. Which wick, Evan Casey?
There's many.
And Evan, I can't believe you didn't come on the show, man. This
He's
was
coming
it for you.
tomorrow. I was DMing
Is he?
him. Yeah.
Evan, if you don't show up tomorrow, man, you said you were going to show up tomorrow. Man, Evan, don't leave us hanging. That's the trade, Tucker.
There's
What
your
is that, like
short.
a 5-cent invalidation? What is that?
Top above. There you go. That's where you put it. And then you
Okay.
put this, right there. There's
All
your
right, you
3.
guys have seen it. You guys see it. It's
4
here.
All
It's
right,
here
let's
in the
watch.
archives forever. I got you tomorrow, Mr. Casey. What if Evan shows up in a full tuxedo tomorrow?
Legend.
That would be dope
Like-
if he did that.
Like stepbrothers while they're going in for the job interviews. That'd be awesome.
You wore a tux to a janitor job.
He's like, you wore a tuxedo to a job interview that requires you to clean bathrooms.
It's a great movie.
So good. All right, guys, what do you say?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. We have been running for about 75 minutes now, guys. Appreciate everybody who has been here since the beginning, as well as everybody who is still tuned in now. Reminder to like and subscribe the video if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys for all the engagement you've already brought us. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap things up on the CPI day. I'm sure we're going to have a market talk later today to discuss bull versus bear, the state of the market, and everything in between. And if you guys really enjoyed the content of today's show, as well as market talk, you can get more exclusive access to us and our trading at some premium links in the description of this YouTube video, as well as the link tree of our Twitter bio. But that's all from me. That's all from us. We'll be back tomorrow, of course. Hopefully we get some movement before then, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up until I actually see it. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and thanks again for tuning in.
Look at Tucker just moving the goalpost, man. Didn't get filled, just moved down his
Move those
just
asks, brother.
slyly in the background, moving his fibs down so he got filled. I love it. All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
See you tomorrow, guys. See you, Evan, tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Evan.